Wow, you guys, we have breaking news to discuss today. Right now, we are in advanced negotiations and getting extremely close to signing Joao Felix on loan until the end of the season. Learn all the latest news coming from this deal, plus my thoughts and opinions about whether Joao Felix is the signing to make right now. And to move on, we have even more news around Vitor Roque of Atletico Paranaense. So right now, you guys, I think after yesterday's terrible defeat versus Man City, this is some nice positivity to try and move on from the pain from yesterday. So I hope you guys enjoy. Hit that like button, please get involved in the comment section too. Before we get into anything, let me get one big plug out the way first. Today's video is brought to you by friends of the channel in OneFootball. Make sure you guys download OneFootball, especially for the January windows, to stay up to date to all transfer news during this month. As you guys can see on the homepage, Chelsea agreed terms of Joao Felix loan with Atletico Madrid. So right now I'm going to go to Discover. I'm going to type in Joao Felix's name. I'm going to click on the start option right here, and this allows me to stay up to date with the latest news, transfer news and stats around Joao Felix. As we can see, here's an overview of how his season is going statistically. Listen, he's had some difficulties at Atletico Madrid. I'll discuss them in the video, but you guys, this is why OneFootball is the handy app to have on your phone for all things football. You'll find a link below in the description, and there is a QR code on screen to download it literally right now. It helps support the channel, and you're doing yourself the biggest service. And you're doing yourself, most importantly, the biggest service. So right now, we must tackle and break down the breaking news around Joao Felix. In my opinion, this was a transfer that I was waiting for because it made the most sense. Realistically, who could really afford to have him and who was desperate to have them in their team for right now? Throughout the day, we were getting reports from Spain, but we got the big breaking news, the official confirmation from Mr. Ornstein. Basically, we are close to signing Joao Felix on loan. We've reached a verbal agreement in terms of the figures we need to sign him. And those figures now are around 11 million euros, which is around 9.6 million pounds. This is way below the original valuation that Atletico Madrid placed on Joao Felix. Originally, they wanted around 15 million plus all of his wages paid for. It wouldn't make sense to pay over 20 million for a guy that you only have for a few months, but I guess due to our dire situation we are in right now, we desperately need attacking reinforcement to salvage anything from this season, and I think Joao Felix, in my opinion, is an astute purchase to make. Now I'm going to talk about him later on as this video goes on, but you guys, we have even more news, because I was thinking to myself, if we're going to be making a long move for Joao Felix, it's a lot of money to spend on a guy that you may not own at the end of the loan spell. Obviously, there's no way people at this club would be moving silly like that, so naturally, of course, we are also discussing the option to buy at the end of the loan spell. Now, at this point in time, Atletico Madrid aren't really favouring something like that, but they don't really have too much of a choice or too much of an option right now. We are currently working on finding the right figures in which to buy Joao Felix at the end of the loan spell. Originally, Atleti wanted around 85 million to sell him. There's no way they can command that amount of money. If you go to transfer market, his transfer market value now is literally half the value in which Atleti bought him to begin with. He's worth around 50 million euros. So if we can secure him for around 60 to 70 max, I'd be pretty impressed with a deal like this, especially if we can pay for the deal in installments. But regardless, you guys, I can imagine that some of you are extremely excited by this news, and some of you guys are a bit cautious because his seasons under Atleti haven't necessarily been perfect. He has had many difficulties, and this has been the season in which things have capitulated. For example, his relationship with Simeone is down in the mud. This has now caused strain between Atletico Madrid fans and Joao Felix too. Right now, it's just not a great, stable and healthy environment for him to be able to play his best football. And in yesterday's game versus Barcelona, he was getting a lot of criticism for not really helping the team as much, and eventually fans got sick and tired of it. And I guess for right now, for all parties' sake, this is the best move to happen. Anyways, exciting times. Joao Felix is pick signing for us over Man United, over Arsenal, plus other clubs as well too. So far this season, he's got 5 goals and 3 assists. Figures that should definitely be a lot higher. But right now, I want to give my thoughts and opinions, because I think you guys know for me, I've said that if there's one player that I could sign in this window, it would be Joao Felix. I mean, the fact that a guy of his talent is available on loan to begin with, it does make things even more enticing to go for him. And for me, most importantly, I want Joao Felix because this team needs a link between midfield and the attack. We don't have those options. Joao Felix's time at Atletico Madrid for me is not a pure reflection of the player's ability. A lot of times the way that Atleti play just stifles natural creative talents. I mean, Joao Felix at Benfica, when he was playing as like the support striker where he had the freedom to drop deep, to lead the counter-attack, to have link-up options alongside him, and I was regularly touching the ball and being involved in the game, you saw a completely different player. We saw during the World Cup what he could do from the left-hand side as well too, getting in the team ahead of Rafael Leao himself. And you know, at Atletico Madrid, you guys have to understand, you know, football players aren't robots. If they're a team that are playing without possession or control of the game, let's say you're in certain positions to receive and you're not receiving, that's going to take a mental toll on you eventually. How do you get yourself mentally psyched up and ready to actually start damaging and affecting the team when you don't know where your service is coming from? I feel like these are the details all the time that, you know, people don't respect because people think, okay, you're a football player, you're on this amount of money, you should be performing regardless of anything. But bro, at the highest level where the very best of the very best are playing against each other, everything gets magnified even more. These small details become even more important. And honestly, in my opinion, I feel like if we are going to be this club, that's going to look to, you know, be a club to harness, grow and improve talent, I think we can definitely work some wonders now with Joao Felix where we can bring his career back. Now, he's not finished at 23 years old. He doesn't have terrible injury records or anything like that. I just think that he needs to be in an environment now where he's loved. He needs to be in an environment where he can play the football that gets the best out of him and brings confidence back into his game. Let's not pretend that if you leave a big club and you're unsuccessful, it means that you're a flop and you were never good enough. There's so many details and contexts in which why certain players underperform. But, you know, for me, it's all about signing players that fit the style you want, the system that you want, and of course, if they complement the players already in the squads. Right now, Joao Felix, not only does he have goal threat where he can bury chances, he has the creativity to really help us between the lines and in the half spaces. I need someone that's going to receive in the half space on the half turn and drive at the opponents. We need more dribblers in this team to be able to create more spaces for all the intelligent runs we are making. You know, someone like Kovacic is going to be even happier knowing that he can alleviate that creative burden off himself to then give the ball to a Joao Felix. I think someone like Mason Mount is going to like the fact that he has someone creative and skillful to link up with. And I think most importantly, Kai Havertz could benefit from this. You know, at times there's like a real lack of connection between the attack and the midfield. It must change, and I think the only way to do that is by having the right offensive players that suit the way you're playing. Joao Felix operates perfectly in the half spaces between the lines, and he's comfortable all over roaming in that field. So I hope that when he does come, he's given a free role to express himself. But regardless of my excitement, let's talk about some realities. I'll be a little bit cynical now, and a part of me thinking, is this just like another favour for Jorge Mendes? Right now, it feels like Mendes hasn't done too much for us. I mean, I'm sounding so ungrateful because we're about to capture Joao Felix. But in terms of Enzo Fernandez, I guess he's helping keep the door of conversation open, but what's he done there? In terms of moving on his clients like Ronaldo to find like big clubs in Europe, he wasn't able to do that. And just in terms of his ability to, you know, get some of these deals done, has it really been hitting and working the same way? You know, I'm not too sure. His influence hasn't helped us to sign someone like a Rafael Leao, but regardless, you know, I can't lie, to get Joao Felix, a player, in my opinion, that has a lot more life to give. I'm hoping that he'll be that reincarnation of a Gianfranco Zola, an Eden Hazard, you know, a Robin, someone that can bring that X-factor threat into our attack, because my God, are we so like just pedestrian, but we are so textbook behind how we play. Big clubs always have players like a Joao Felix, and I really think that he could be an incredible signing for us, and he definitely has my seal of approval because I've always loved this guy. So how do you guys feel about this amazing news? Let us know below. And right now, let's end things by discussing even more sexy news, and we talk Vitor Roque of Atletico Paranaense. Now, there's been some reports coming out from Brazil, most notably from a journalist that has given some confirmation behind this story now, which was literally identical to how the Endrick reports first started to come out from Brazil. Regardless, at this point in time, we are not looking to stop the spending. And interesting news today is the fact that Todd Boehly has finally stepped down as the interim director. he was never going to do this long term. He has other things he should be doing. He's hired the staff to take control, and he's giving them full license now to do what they have to do. So in a sense, it's like more uncharted territory, because a lot of these signings now will be based on the transfer team that has been hired and bought by Todd Boehly. So that's going to be really interesting to see what type of talents they go for. But I think already we're getting an indication. I mean, Nkunku, Joao Felix coming through, and looks like we're ready to make a move to sign Vitor Roque. Now, the only issue is we have competition from Newcastle and Barcelona and Paris Saint-Germain. In terms of finances, I'm not really too fussed about Barca, and I don't think Vitor Roque wants to sign for Barcelona as backup. Paris Saint-Germain now, they could be a problem. Let's see what happens soon. But at the same time, if you're seeing that someone like Etikite, the guy they literally signed from the summer, hasn't impressed as much, are you going to feel as comfortable playing in Ligue 1? And is that even a league that you want to make your name in? I'm not too sure. I feel like, again, we've got this advantage now where we're able to entice young prospects with the projects we're sending them. Now, over the next few seasons, I'm sure us fans will get a better idea of what the hell this project is, but it seems to be getting the attention of many top talents from across the world. I mean, already it's quite clear that the South American market is one we are serious about. But before I continue on, because I'm getting a bit too excited, you guys, of course, the Brazilian journalist has added more clarity and confirmation to the story, has said that we have held direct talks now with Atletico Paranaense alongside Paris Saint-Germain, so things are clearly heating up to get this guy signed. He's 17 and his birthday is on the 28th of next month, where he'll be 18, which means that in the summer, he will be available to sign for whoever. I think it'll be quite good to get business done for next season right now. And Nkunku and Roque coming through, just to think of potentially Joao Felix, Roque and Nkunku, skillful, dynamic, intelligent, match-winning type of players. We don't see these profiles at this club too often yet, but regardless, with our interest in the South American market, we've signed Andre Santos, one to watch out for. Of course, we came close to signing Endrick, very, very close. And for me, Vitor Roque is a no-brainer. I mean, 17 years old, scoring goals already, doesn't make sense. He's got the skill, the flair, the explosiveness. He has the strength as well too. I know 60 million for the release clause is a lot, but Atletico Paranaense have said the only way you're buying him is if a club exercises that value. And seeing how much money that Endrick went for, Vitor Roque is in that same class as the next great hopes of Brazilian football. So even more exciting times to come, in my opinion, over the next 18 months, where we're going to continue to dissect this squad, which is much needed to help finally improve things and take us to a new level. So you guys, how are you feeling about this news today? Please let us all know below. Like I said yesterday, I simply had to run. But today, knowing the fact that, I can't forget too, these guys are trying to level this club up. It is going to take time, and to get the right players to come in is the only way to really level things up. They've got my attention for right now. So on that note, I'm Nini FC, this is BlueLionsTV. I'll catch you guys there with some more videos. Cool.